Good evening. Warren's warning me I better not thump that microphone, and I'm promising him I won't. Good evening and happy spring. You see a lot of springtime ringers here behind you. Welcome to our spring concert, Ring and Remember. Now, I remember that in the spring of 2020, 2 years ago, we had to shut down the entire handbell choir and many, many other things because of COVID. We kind of hoped that by Christmas we'd be back on track to ring. That didn't happen. So during that time of isolation, we were very quiet. We lost many people that we still miss today. I'm sure each and every one of you can name silently those we lost to COVID, or those we lost during that time when we could not gather and acknowledge our grief or celebrate the lives that we lost. But I'm here to tell you tonight that after 2 years of quiet, the Handbell Choir of Clemson United Methodist Church is back. We returned in Christmas to ring joyfully to celebrate Christ's birth, and we're here tonight to continue our music by celebrating the hymns of the church as we remember those that we continue to miss. So please join us in celebration tonight as we share with you some familiar tunes that will help all of us ring and remember. Our first offering is Percussive Praise Mallet Melody by Kevin McChesney. This is a very cheerful praise song, and it's played entirely with mallets while the bells are on the table. So you will not see me give the cue to have everybody raise their bells. It will be a cue to raise their mallets. So, percussive praise. Can you tell we like that one, that it's fun to play? One of the songs that I sought in solace during difficult times is the hymn, Just As I Am. This particular handbell version is by Kathy Monkelboost, who's one of our favorite arrangers. And as with any hymn, whether the congregation is singing it or it's being played on handbells or organ or piano or any instrument, I don't know about you all, but the words of the hymn are circulating around in my head the whole time. These words remind us in tough times that we are all loved just as we are. Is there anyone here tonight who has never seen handbells played? Okay, wonderful. Okay, so very quick primer. Most ringers get 2 notes, like maybe a C and a D that they're responsible for, and their sharps and flats that go with it. The lucky ones, like the bass clef and the upper treble clef, get 8, 10, 12, however many bells we can throw at them, as many as they can handle, and they're responsible for those notes. I liken it to trying to have a group of people recite, the to be or not to be speech from Shakespeare. And I'm going to give Warren the word to, and Gail the word be, and Lilburn the word not, and so forth. And each of you will have 2 words, and we have to put them all together and make it sound like Shakespeare. So that's what we're working on tonight. And all these ringers behind me, the celebration ringers of the United Methodist Church, make that happen. They are each and every one of them ministers. They minister to you, the congregation, by offering their music, but they also minister to each other. For instance, that's why they are wearing masks, to help protect those members of the choir who are more vulnerable. It's why I'm standing 6 feet away from them, and why they're spread out over the entire front of the congregation so that they can have enough separation. That's what we've been doing in COVID time to still be able to make music. I was talking to Larry McCullough about Peggy and her time in this choir. She was not only a faithful 4-year-old Sunday school teacher, and I have a 4-year-old grandson, and bless Peggy's heart, because she had her hands full. But she was, as far as we can tell, one of the founding members of this choir and rang for more than 50 years. So, yes. So I was curious, and I polled the choir members, the celebration ringers. Some of them here have been ringing 5 or 10 years. Some of them rang as children and then never picked it up again until they became adults. Some of them had never played before or had never even seen a handbell till they started in our choir. Of the 13 members that you see in front of us, and me, the person who stands in front and waves her arms until the music stops, 315 years of handbell experience in front of you. If you add in our substitutes who help us out in time of need, add another 25 years to that. So we have a lot of experience up here, a lot of ministry to each other, ministry to the church, lives that were filled with praise, with grace, with gratitude. So thank you, Celebration Ringers, for all you do for each other, for me, and for your congregation. Okay, during COVID time, we sought a lot of quiet and a lot of peace during all the turmoil. And so I'm going to have the next hymn in the program is one that will be peaceful for all of us. It's Softly and Tenderly, arranged by Anne Laura Page. It's a beckoning hymn almost. It's beckoning very softly and tenderly, but it reminds us to joyfully come home, and you will hear that joyful come home part in Softly and Tenderly. Okay, I get asked a question a lot related to handbells. Can anyone play handbells? Yes. It helps if you can read music a little bit, because I don't need to start back there and show you where the C is and the D is and what a 4/4 measure is, but it's not totally required. It does help. But I find that handbells give us a chance, especially during these pandemic times when people are afraid of spreading germs by singing, to make music. And you don't have to have studied the trumpet or anything like that for years and years. You can pick up handbells fairly quickly. So I would encourage any of you who say, well, I might like to try that sometime, to just do it. We will start up again in August. We will play some ensemble pieces, some small groups. I will teach you. I will work with your schedule and give you the instruction you need. I will do my best not to throw you in to swim with the sharks until you get a little bit more used to it. However, there are a few simple but very, very important rules, and all of the ringers behind you know them. Number one, everyone should play the same piece of music at the same time. Number two, if you play a wrong note, glare at the person that's standing next to you, or even point to them. Number three, the right note at the wrong time, that's still a wrong note. This is my favorite. Number four, if everyone gets lost, just follow those who are lost. You'll all be better off. Number five, a wrong note played timidly is a wrong note. But a wrong note played with authority, that's an interpretation. Number six, when everyone else is done playing, don't play any notes you have left over at the end of the song. But most importantly, remember, you're playing to the glory of God, so He still loves you even if you make mistakes. Let's continue our song, our joy amidst this remembrance tonight, with a lovely hymn, Joyful, Joyful, arranged by William Motes. Like percussive praise, this piece uses mallets in a lot of the places to create that joyful sound for us. Speaking of joyful, if they didn't have masks on, in the middle of that piece you would probably see some of the people in the middle here, which we call our battery bells, smiling because they get to play the melody, and they don't get that very often. So they were having a good time playing the melody. What kind of hymns or songs have you turned to when you needed comfort, when you met some difficult times or were in the midst of grief? One of my favorites is set to the tune Finlandia by Jean Sibelius. We know it in our Methodist hymnal as Be Still My Soul, and this version is arranged by Lloyd Larson, and it includes scattered throughout it the gentle flowing notes of the opening of the Peer Gynt's sweet song, Dawn, and it evokes that dawn, peace, and comfort. Remember going to sunrise services on Easter Sunday or getting up and sitting on your front porch with a cup of coffee to watch the sun rise. It evokes those kind of sounds in the midst of Be Still My Soul. And I totally misspoke and totally jumped the gun. It's the next piece that has the Peer Gynt Suite in it. The next piece is Morning Has Broken. It is a beautiful piece, and Timmy Waldrop arranged this one. And it sounds just like dawn coming up, and you'll hear the passages of dawn from the Peer Gynt Suite by Edvard Grieg in various places throughout the piece. This is Morning Has Broken. Once you ring a handbell, you cannot take the note back. So you will see that we've used a lot of different techniques to change the sound. And that piece ended and began with something called a vibrato, just like you would use a vibrato in a tenor or a soprano voice. And it's a simple waving of the bell back and forth to have the sound shift a little bit. You saw them doing shakes and mallets and a variety of different techniques that are designed to give a different sound to the note once it is rung. Well, you've heard me mention Peggy McCullough several times this evening. She passed away in 2020 amidst that pandemic where we were shut down. And every one of us has missed her quiet strength, her grace. She never refused a challenge, no matter what bells I gave her to ring or how many. She rose to that challenge without complaint and with kindness. And so we would like to dedicate our last piece to Peggy's memory. because the idea of service, faith, and grace so eloquently typifies what Peggy was all about throughout her life. So here now is In Service, Faith, and Grace, arranged by Kathy Muckleboost. Listen for 3 hymn tunes: O Worship the King, My Faith Looks Up to Thee, and Amazing Grace. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. I do have a couple things that I would like to share with you before we go. I didn't say anything before we played that last piece because I wasn't sure she'd make it through the piece if I did. But I also want to dedicate that one to Jane Westcott, who after 26 years is leaving us. Jane is the ringer that 26 years ago, when she started with our choir, had never even seen a handbell. And she takes her music home. She makes sure it's marked correctly. If she has difficult passages, she gathers sticks in her yard or spoons in her kitchen to rehearse her part at home. If that isn't dedication, I don't know what is dedication. But Jane and her husband Wicks are going to be moving to Frostburg, Maryland, way too far to commute, I'm afraid. And we will miss her greatly. Miss Jane. Something for you and something for your home in Maryland. We had a wonderful party for Jane last night Monday night after our dress rehearsal. We just sat out in the breezeway and ate pizza and caught up and visited, and it was wonderful. So I hope that you find a wonderful handbell choir in Maryland. Keep on ringing praises to God and a handbell choir there, and thank you so much, Jane. So as we close tonight, I invite each of you to remember these hymns of faith, hymns of praise, hymns of dedication, hymns of introspection, and remember those we've lost, rejoice in their lives and their love, and move forward in peace and in praise. Thank you for coming tonight. And come and visit with the Ringers. I know they'd love a chance to see you.